Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. So this is my very first video and I'm so excited to finally be starting my YouTube channel. So I thought I would go ahead and do like my go-to look that I do anytime I have somewhere special to go or like pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. All I've done so far is wash my face, of course, and then my next step is going to be to prime my face. So I just use a moisturizer. This one's my favorite because it does have SPF in it. It is the Peter Thomas Roth Max Sheer All Day Moisture Defense. I've used it for probably 3 or 4 years now, and I'll probably never use anything else because it just works really well for me. So I do have pretty normal skin. I think I finally found a happy balance with my skincare to keep my skin from being too dry or too oily or getting constant breakouts. So I can definitely make a video on that if you guys would be interested in seeing my skincare routine. It's not much of anything. I find that the simpler the better. But yeah, just let me know, and if you want, I can definitely do a video on that. I just like to use this moisturizer because I do like to use a matte foundation, and this really gives you extra moisture you need to have a matte foundation with normal skin. Now that I have my moisturizer on, I'm going to go ahead and spot conceal. I do have some imperfections, of course, and I like to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I am in the shade Chantilly because I'm super white, but I do just take the doe foot and cover whatever I don't want to show through. I do use a pretty full coverage foundation, but it doesn't always cover everything I want it to cover, of course. So I do use like the doe foot to kind of blend out around the edges of the concealer that I place, so that there isn't a harsh circle of it underneath my foundation and you're able to see it. So I've got that on there pretty well blended out, and then I will set it, and I like to use the NYX banana powder. This is my go-to. I had someone recommend this to me years ago, and it's basically the only powder I've used since then. I tried a lot of other banana powders like the Ben Nye, and they just weren't the right color, I guess. But I love this powder. It's the only one I use on my face. This really goes really well with my skin tone, I guess. I have spot concealed. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my foundation. In the summertime, I like to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I am currently in the shade 101. I can range between 101 to 102. It just depends. But this has been my go-to and my favorite foundation for, again, several years now. Once you find something you love, why change it, right? So it is pretty full coverage, and like I say, it's matte, so it stays on all day. Now, if you have dry skin, I don't believe this would be a very good option for you, but they do have a glowy option that I think works great on drier skin. So I am just going to go ahead and go in with this foundation. I'm using a Morphe M439. This has also been my go-to brush for foundation for years. Sometimes I'll get a little crazy with it, and I will use a beauty blender, but not very often, and not with this foundation. And I do prefer to stipple this. I know a lot of people say that buffing this in works better for them, but I find that I get more full coverage when I do stipple it versus buffing. It could just be a personal preference. It's so odd to sit down and do my makeup. I can't remember the last time I sat down at my vanity and put my makeup on. I'm always rushing to put it on for work or somewhere else that I have to be, and it's really nice to just sit down and do my makeup. So now that I have my foundation on, I'm going to go ahead and go in there with my concealer. I'm going to go back in with that NARS Radiant Creamy, because like I say, it is my go-to. It lasts all day. I'm going to, of course, do my under eyes. Something's got to hide these dark circles. Blend that out with my finger. I know a lot of people like to use the beauty blender, but I honestly find that blending with your finger is more effective somehow. I don't know. You hear all kinds of things, and I've heard that the heat from your finger helps blend the product in. I don't know. I just know that I like how it works. So that's what I do. And I will put some of this on my eyelids just as a base. I do have pretty veiny eyelids. That's one of my biggest pet peeves about my face, is my veiny eyelids. I like to cover those as best I can. Now that I have my under eyes and my eyelids covered, I'm going to go ahead and do my nose and my chin. For the longest time, I was so afraid of contouring my nose. I thought it looked dirty. And then I started doing it every day, and I can't stand to not contour my nose now. I swear it's addictive. It's like wearing lashes. Like, before you start doing it regularly, you're like, oh, I don't really know. And then you wear it every day, and you feel like you look funny without it. Does anyone else do that? We've got all of our concealer on now. We have highlighted all the areas we want to highlight. So we're going to go back in with that NYX banana powder and set everything so that it stays. I honestly don't know what kind of brush this is. It is from It Cosmetics, but the number rubbed off of it a long time ago. It is my favorite brush to use for powder. I wish I knew the name so I could recommend it to you guys. I do like to just press my powders on with my brush. I find that if you buff the powders in, it kind of raises any texture that you might have, and you won't get that smooth look like everybody wants. So I find that definitely helps. And I do set my whole face with this powder very lightly, since it is a matte foundation. I have everything set. I'm going to go in with my bronzer. I need you guys to not judge me for my bronzer. It's a little busted, but this is my favorite bronzer, and I don't think they make it anymore. So this came from Makeup Geek a long time ago, and well, I guess it hasn't been that long, but it's been a little while, and I have hit pan on it so bad. This is my second pan I've been through, and I just can't find anything quite as nice as this bronzer. I love the color. I love the texture. It just blends so well. I love it. So if you have any bronzer recommendations, hit me up. Let me know. I need something new to try. So I am just using this MAC brush. I don't recall what number it is. It's rubbed off as well, but this is the best brush for bronzer. It blends so well. You get a really good color payoff. Super easy to use. So I will just place this, kind of take it along my cheekbone line and buff it in. That's why I like this brush so well, because it's the perfect shape to get it in all the right places. I will take it up and onto my forehead. For some reason, one of my cheeks always looks more cut, defined than the other one. Do you guys find that? I do it exactly the same. I use the same technique, everything, but my right side always looks more defined than my left side. Don't know what it is. You want to make sure you blend your forehead really well. You don't want to have like a harsh white line between your hairline and your forehead. You also want to make sure that you're not wearing a bronzer helmet. So like down here, you want to be sure that you blend that really well with the rest of your forehead. Not to say I've never had a bronzer helmet. 5 out of 7 days a week I do, but I will sometimes go back in with my powder brush a little bit just to blend that out some more. Make sure there's no harsh lines. We've got our cheeks and forehead bronze. We're going to go in and contour our nose. So I do use the same bronzer. I didn't even see what shade this is. So this is Love Triangle. And like I said, it is a Makeup Geek pan. It's the perfect shade for my skin. So I'm going to go in with a Luxie 207. Looks like this. This is my favorite brush to contour my nose. I used to be really bad at contouring my nose. But then I got this brush, and I really like it. So I'll just load my brush up with some bronzer, and you want to take it, of course, kind of on the outsides of your nose. It just depends on what your nose shape is and how you want it to look. I basically just kind of give mine a little definition so it doesn't sink into the rest of my face. So I'll just put a little bit of product on my nose, on each side. And I do take it up into my brow. Some people don't. I just feel like it makes it blend better when you take it up that way. Now we have that on there. I'm going to go in with a Morphe M310. I believe that's what that says. It's just a fan brush. And I learned this tip from my friend Nicole. She takes a fan brush and blends out her nose contour after she's applied it with her defining brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just with a really light touch, because you don't really want to take the product off. You just want to make sure that it blends into your skin a little better. Finish contouring your nose and you're all blended to your liking. You're going to go in with a darker shade of contour. So I use Half-Hearted from Makeup Geek. It's just a little darker than my usual shade. He's a little busted too. Please don't judge me. And then I'm going to take that on a Luxie 522, a tapered highlighting brush. And I'm just going to get a little bit of product on there because you don't want to look muddy. And just want to start with that brush at the base of your cheekbone, about halfway down your cheek, and blend backwards. You don't want to take it all the way down because then your bronzer starts to look muddy and your face will look dirty. And you just want to blend that until it looks nice and blended. Maybe take it up a little bit to blend it in with the other color. Gives you that really nice defined cheekbone look. Because you know, I got a chunky face, but I want to have cheekbones. Okay, so you do just the same on the other side. You want to buff in circular motions, not just a line, and kind of make a C shape so that you're not just putting like a line of bronzer on your face. Okay, so there's the bronzer. Next, we're going to do blush. I don't even know what color I want to do. So many options. Okay, so I think that I will go in with this Urban Decay blush. I don't even recall when I bought this. It's an Urban Decay Afterglow blush in the color Indecent. It's like a peachy orange color. You can tell what ones are my favorites. I've hit pan on them all. So I do use this pretty regularly. It's really great for pale girls. It is my absolute favorite color. I probably use it more than anything else. Actually, I think I changed my mind. I want to use a pink one. So I'm actually going to go in with this Urban Decay Afterglow blush. This is in the color Obsessed. It's a really pretty pink. Now it is really pigmented, so I don't use very much. I don't know if you can buy these anymore, but if you can, I highly recommend them. They are a great bronzer. They are a great blush. I highly recommend them. So I'm just going to go in with a Luxie 504. When I first started doing makeup, this was like the only brush I owned, so I did my whole face with it. But yeah, this is one of my favorite brushes. Like I said, it's a Luxie 504 large angle brush, and I'm just going to dab a little bit of this on my brush because it is quite harsh. And I do just kind of take it in a sweeping circular motion on my face. I don't really buff it in because, again, you'll get that texture if you're not careful. Okay, we are blushed. So, next, I go in with eyebrows. Now, listen, guys, yesterday, I had a really good brow day. So, I don't know what's going to happen today. Usually, I don't get 2 good brow days in a row. Y'all know how that is. So, we're going to try. I did finally tweeze my brows. I had let them go far too long, I guess. Oh, quarantine business and not really seeing people. I'm just going to let my eyebrows go. But I did tweeze them yesterday, so maybe they'll be a little easier to fill in My favorite product for my brows, for the longest time I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I liked it, but I honestly prefer the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I'm using the shade Chocolate. Usually when I'm blonde, I will use the taupe shade, but I've been using this because my roots are grown out, and your girl needs to do her hair, but I haven't had time. So, I'm just going to go in with this and kind of fill in my brows. If you guys would like an in-depth brow tutorial, just let me know. I'm not going to go into it in this video because I do have a lot left to do and I don't want to keep you guys forever. I know you have lives. So if you would like an in-depth tutorial on how I do my eyebrows, just let me know. Drop a comment, send me a message, whatever. Let me know what you guys want to see from me and I'll be happy to make a video on it. You know, I'm just getting started. I need all kinds of content. Alright, I've got my brows on. Like I said, yesterday was a good brow day. Today, they're more cousins than sisters. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. They're kind of the same. That's all that matters. Never perfect, right? Oh, now that I have my brows on, I can go in and start on my eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my favorite part. I think it's because that's where you really get to get creative with your makeup. Yeah, I think that's why I like it so much. I guess because I do my face and my brows every single day, it just seems like going through the motions. But when I take time to sit down and do my eyeshadow, I just love it. I just love it. So, we've primed our eyelids, we've done all this good stuff. Now we're going to jump into the eye makeup look. So I'm going to be using the Sultry palette. Mine's a little dirty. I use her a lot. So I'm going to go in with this, and I'm going to be using a lot of shades from this actually. So basically my go-to eye look is just a smoky brown eye look, you know, basic. So I'll usually just change up my eyelid color depending on my mood. Today I think I'm going to do like a goldish silver, but I always make it glittery. First we're going to go in with Birch. It's this top right hand corner, left hand corner. So that is going to be my first transition shade I laid down, and I'm going to use a Luxie 205. This brush is the business. This brush is so good. I have 3 of them, I believe, and I could use another because I have had this for so long. It's lasted me about 4 years. I just keep buying more, but this one has lasted me for about 4 years, and it is the business when it comes to blending out transition shades. It does so well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go in with that. I'm going to dip into Birch, knock off my excess. Now, these newest Anastasia palettes, they do have a lot of excess, but it's okay. I just knock off the excess. So, I'm going to go in with Birch. I've loaded on my brush here. You want to keep it above your crease in the upper portion of your eye. So, kind of up this way. You see what I'm saying? And I go in windshield wiper motions, and then I'll go in circular motions. Just buff it in now. Get you some color on there. Now, you don't want to go in with a whole lot of color when you initially go in. You want to make sure you put a little bit on and build it up because it's easier to add than it is to take away color. So, you want to put that up there, blend it in. And I always take my brush and I kind of turn it up this way and hit the edges of that eyeshadow. That really blends out that crease and make sure you don't have any harsh lines where your eyeshadow ends, you know? So, just kind of buffing and blending and buffing and blending. Okay, and then once you get that to your liking, about like that is how I like to keep it, just so it doesn't blend on into my skin and get muddy. That can happen really quick on you. Going to do the other eye really quickly. And just keep in mind that you don't want to use a heavy hand. Just a light hand. I always hold at the end of my brush here and use a light hand so that you're not creating harsh lines in your shadow. Blended. They're going to go in with transition shade number 2. It's all about dimension with eyeshadow. That's how you get a really good soft look. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Twig right here. This cool tone brown shade on that same Luxie 205 brush. Going to get a little bit of product, and we're going to take it just a little lower than we did with the Birch. So you want to start a little lower than you did, windshield wiper motions, and then buff it in circles. Once you have your second transition shade laid down and buffed blended to where you want it to be, you're going to go back in with just a little bit of that original shade you used, just a little bit. Just barely touch it in there and knock off the rest, and you'll blend again so that you have a nice transition between your top shade and the second shade you use. So you just go, you can see where you started with the other shade and just blend between those two, making sure that you have a smooth transition. Do that to both eyes, of course. Alright, and once you have those both blended to your liking, you're going to go in with your crease shade. So this is going to be the next to the darkest shade that we use in our crease. I'm going to go in with a MAC 217. This is my favorite crease brush. It is kind of rounded, you know, it's a really good blending brush for darker shades. So we're going to go into Dystopian, right here, this dark brown shade, and we're going to place that in our crease. So you just load up the tip of your brush. I like to use the tip, not the side. I wish I could show you guys this. So basically, you're going to take the tip of your brush like this and not lay it down on the side, because that way you get the pigment on the tip of your brush and you're not just laying it all willy-nilly all over your eyelid. So once your brush is loaded up and you knocked off the excess, you want to place this one right at the bottom of where you put your second transition shade. So right about there, and do your windshield wiper motions and then your circles. Just blend, blend, blend. Now the darker shades are, of course, harder to blend, as I'm sure you know. You just want to make sure you take your time, blend them out real nice. I'm going to keep most of this darker shade toward the outer corner. So you don't want to go over in this area because, well, you just don't want to. So once you have your crease shade laid down and you've got it blended out about like this, you want to go back in with your 205 brush and just kind of buff over that a little bit to make sure that you don't have any harsh lines between that second transition shade and your crease shade. Your crease shade. So just buff in a little bit. And once you have your first crease shade down, you're going to go in with the darkest shade. This is going to be the absolute darkest color that you go in. So we're going to use Noir from the bottom right hand corner. That is the black. I'm telling y'all, this is the best black shade I've ever used. I often use it for an eyeliner as well. Works really well, really pigmented, doesn't blend out to look patchy. It's a good one. So I'm going to go in with that Noir shade on a Luxie 235. Just a little blending brush. Just a little blending brush. So we're going to just get a little bit of pigment from the Noir shade. Like I said, she's real pigmented and she will have you looking crazy real quick. So just get a tiny bit on your brush. Just like dip her in there 2 times. And then you're going to lay that down on your outer corner. You just pack this on and kind of take it over into my crease a little bit. Now if you're going for more of a glam look, you could obviously add more of the black, but I don't typically do that because I'm so pale I can look crazy really quick. So just put a little bit of that black in there and it really gives you some more definition in that eye look. And then I will go back in with my MAC 217 and just kind of blend over that to be sure that I'm not adding any extra product, but I'm still getting the colors blended out with no harsh lines. Put your final crease shade on, which is the black, and you have it blended to where you don't have any harsh lines and you're liking the way it looks. You're liking it. You're just going to take a pencil brush. I have no idea where this brush came from. I've had it for so long, but I just use like a pencil brush like this, and I do my lower lash line. So first I go in with the original color I used in my crease, which was, if you recall, Birch. Right here. So we'll go in with that on this pencil brush, not a whole lot of product, and you want to run that along your lower lash line. So just take it, and you do want to take this out a little far, so blow that baby out. Make sure you have a shade to blend with under that eye. Have that looking right. You're going to go in with the darker color. Remember, we used the Twig as our second transition shade. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom lash line. So dip that same pencil brush into Twig, your second color, and just don't blow it out as far. So just don't blend as much. Just place it on there and kind of run your brush across that lower lash line, making sure you're taking it into your outer corner. And you're going to go in with your final color. And I like to go in with the darkest color that I used, if I can find my brush. There we go. So you'll take just an angled liner brush. I think that's what this is called. I'm sorry, a small angle brush. This is a Luxie 215. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use this Dystopian shade. And that's going to be the darkest shade I place on my lower lash line. I like to use this Morphe M522. This is just a really good packing brush. She's flat, she blends, she packs, she's good. So we're going to go in with Pearl from this palette. She is my favorite. So she's just a really pretty champagne glittery color. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to really pack that shade on there because I want to make sure that my lids are shining, honey. So really just swirl her in there, pack that product on, knock off your excess, and you want to pack. So place it on your lid and press and drag, kind of. That's the best way to explain that to you. Go on to lashes. Now I know a lot of people struggle with lashes. If you would like an in-depth tutorial on how to put on false lashes, let your girl know. I can do one. It took me a really long time to get good at lashes. So I use these lashes. My friend Allison carries these lashes, Faces by Allison. Find her on Facebook, buy her lashes. They are amazing. This is the style Skylar. I have worn these more than any other lashes I've ever had. Okay, lashes are on. This right lash really gave me problems today. So, whatever, it's fine. It's on there. Once you have your inner corner highlight on, I like to use the same shade to highlight my face with. So I'm going to use this Morphe M501. Looks like this. It's a really good highlight brush for the face because it just really blends it really well. So I'm going to put a little bit of product on there. I did mix I'm In It and Certified, these top two colors here. These top two colors here from the Jaclyn palette, and that is what I'm going to highlight my face with. So I just have it on the one side of my brush, and of course you just take it and sweep it along the top of your cheekbone. And I actually do think I'm going to go ahead and add a little line of black on my inner corner here to blend these lashes in. Let's see, where's my brush? So I'm going to go ahead and take this. This is a Tarte eyeliner brush. This is their bamboo liner brush. I really love this brush. One end is straight, one end is angled. It's really good for liner. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and dip it into that Noir color from the Anastasia palette. This one right here in the bottom corner. Just dip the tip of it in there. Don't need too much. And I'm going to run that along my inner corner of my lash line. Not thick. You just want a really thin line to blend that lash band, make it look seamless. Okay, now to decide what lipstick I want to wear. I haven't been wearing much lipstick, honestly, because masks, and it just hides it, and I get lipstick all inside my mask, and it smears it on my face. What do I want to wear? Lipstick, I am going to go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Soft Lilac. It's a really pretty, you know, like a pinky purple color. So that is the finished look. I'm not going to fix my hair today. This is just what it's going to look like. So that is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to do some more. Leave me some comments below and let me know what you guys want to see from me. I'm up for doing almost anything. I need ideas. Lash video, brows, I have those planned to do soon. If you want a skincare video, let me know. I do have a couple other looks planned to do a little more bold, but I really enjoyed doing this video today, and I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do. Give me a subscribe, help your girl out, and I'm so excited to start this journey with you guys. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to the next video. Thank you guys so much.